Join me as I challenge myself to read and review 3 books that absolutely defy their covers. Let's see if I can find hidden gems behind those misleading designs. Don't judge a book by its cover, a phrase we've all heard before, but how often do we really take it to heart? In today's society, where first impressions can make or break our chances, it's easier than ever to get caught up in making snap judgments based on appearances. But what if I told you that those initial judgments can be misleading, and that the most unlikely packages can hide the most extraordinary contents? We've all been guilty of it, judging someone or something based on how they look. We see a person walking down the street, and we make assumptions about their personality, their job, or their interests, all based on how they're dressed or how they carry themselves. We see a product on the shelf, and we decide whether or not to buy it based on the packaging, without ever reading the label or checking the reviews. We're wired to make quick decisions, and often, those decisions are influenced by our biases and preconceived notions. Think about it, how many times have you walked into a coffee shop and assumed the person sitting alone in the corner, typing away on their laptop, is a struggling writer, when in reality, they might be a successful entrepreneur or a programmer? How many times have you scrolled through social media and judged someone's character based on their profile picture or their bio? We do it all the time, and it's a habit that can be hard to break. But what if I told you that some of the most remarkable people I've met in my life were those who didn't quite fit the mold? The person who looked like a hardcore punk rocker turned out to be a kind-hearted social worker, and the person who looked like a straight-laced business executive turned out to be a passionate artist. Appearances can be deceiving, and it's only when we take the time to dig deeper that we discover the truth. I remember meeting someone who looked like they just rolled out of bed and stumbled into the interview room. They were dressed in ripped jeans and a faded t-shirt, and their hair looked like it hadn't been washed in days. But as soon as they started talking, I was blown away by their intelligence, their passion, and their drive. They got the job on the spot, and it just goes to show that you can't judge a book by its cover. Think about some of the most famous examples: Einstein, the genius physicist, who looked like he just rolled out of bed every morning. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, who was known for his ripped jeans and his black turtleneck. They didn't exactly fit the mold, did they? But it was their unique perspectives and their willingness to think outside the box that changed the world. Then there was the time I met a woman who looked like she belonged on the cover of a fashion magazine. She was dressed to the nines, with perfect makeup and a flawless smile. But as soon as we started talking, I realized that she was actually a highly skilled engineer who had a passion for robotics and artificial intelligence. She was building a robot that could help people with disabilities, and her dedication to her craft was inspiring. There was also the story of a man who was deemed a genius in his field, but was constantly underestimated because of his appearance. He was a bit on the heavier side, and he had a quirky sense of humor, but boy, was he a genius. He went on to win the Nobel Prize in Physics, and it just goes to show that you can't judge a book by its cover. One of the most powerful stories that I've come across is that of a woman who was arrested and jailed for a crime she didn't commit. She looked like a typical suspect, but as it turned out, she was a victim of circumstance, and her appearance had nothing to do with her innocence or guilt. Her story is a powerful reminder that we should never judge someone based on how they look, and that we should always dig deeper to uncover the truth. As I wrap up this video, I want to leave you with a challenge to look beyond the surface, to dig deeper, and to not judge a book by its cover. Remember, every person, every product, and every experience has a story to tell, and it's only when we take the time to listen that we can truly understand. Thanks for watching, and if you have a story to share about a time when you didn't judge a book by its cover, please leave it in the comments below. You in the next one.